Cheers. Welcome to a very special, extraordinary Christmas episode of Glitter, Glue, and Gluttony.
Yes.
This is Carrie. I'm Cher. We're your hostesses, your cruise directors, if you will, on this magical journey. Today, we're going to make an exceptional craft item that we saw in Anthropologie. Anthropologie is the most beautiful store in the world. They have magical, mystical things there. So we're at Anthropologie and they have these Christmas trees. They're made out of recycled books because we're all about staying green.
We are. Sustainability.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So they had these Christmas trees of which I was dying for and I wanted to buy them. $50 a piece.
$50 for a stack of old book pages cut up all nicely and shoved on a stick.
So that's not happening.
Right.
So we decided we were going to come home and show you all that we can make one.
First.
We have never done this, but we're about to.
And we are fortified with the gluttony portion of the Glitter, Glue, and Gluttony. These are candy cane martinis.
So good. I'm kind of hoping we have to film this over and over and over again.
That's right.
All right. So, to make our inspiration piece, which I'm going to show you one more time, magical trees, we stopped by our local grocery store and procured the following items. Wooden skewers. Cost about $3 for a package of 700, I think.
It's 700.
So you can make a forest of little trees.
You can.
Spools. Wooden spools from
Ningbo, China.
Ningbo, China.
I did not go to Ningbo, China to get them. I went to Michael's. Actually.
Michael's craft store.
Yes.
You can go to any craft store.
They're like $1.
Now, first problem that happens is we come to find out that the skewers are a little too small for the spool. So I quickly remedied that with some of the peppermint marshmallows that Carrie brought.
Yes. That are the garnish for our martinis.
So I stuck one inside the spool. It's very sticky.
Yep.
Perfectly holds that skewer.
Yeah, so if you have ants, you might want to use something else.
Next, we took a book. You can take any book you want. I used Sophie's World, my daughter's psychology textbook. Luckily, she had finished the class. If your child hasn't finished yet, it's your call. So I cut squares of paper using a handy-dandy paper cutter, which I borrowed from work.
Yes, we are not at all encouraging you to steal or borrow from work.
I borrowed this one in about 2004.
Right.
If they need it back, they'll ask.
That's right. Just don't say we told you to do any of that, because we will disavow any knowledge.
So I started with 5-inch squares and went downward 4-inch squares, 3-inch squares, 2-inch squares, and 1-inch squares. Now, the pretty inspiration piece trees have a pinked edge that you could do with pinking shears. I don't have pinking shears. I do have, however, some scrapbooking scissors. So we use those.
You can even rip them up and make them look urban.
Urban. We're going to start by putting a few pieces of paper on the skewer.
And you can use any, and you don't even have to use books if you don't want to destroy your books or if you don't read.
So we're going to put a layer there. Oops. Then what we procured from Michael's craft store again are these little silver metallic wheels. They're wheel-like beads that have a hole in them. They fit perfectly on the skewer. However, if you don't have a Michael's nearby, Lifesavers will do the trick.
And if you don't want them as thick, you can suck down the Lifesaver. The paper will actually stick to it. Again, if you have ants, don't do this. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to use I'm going to alternate with some non-cut edges and some cut edges in each of the sets.
Indeed. Are we good for a bead?
Yeah, we're good for a bead. I also have a handy-dandy paper piercer, which you can get for $3 over at the Michael's, which pokes the center hole there to get it started, or you can just ram it over the skewer. I'm putting on, 2 or 3 pieces at a time. You could put on more than that or less than that. You can do whatever you'd like, but for the sake of time, we're just going to start slamming this out now.
And in between beading, I will make another cocktail.
That's right.
We're getting a little low.
Oh.
So for the peppermint candy cane martini, I actually made my own candy cane vodka. get a bottle, mason jar, anything. So mini candy canes, 24 of them, break them up, shove them in a jar, shove them in a bottle, fill it with vodka, put it in your refrigerator, shake it a couple times a day.
Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
Shake it. It will be beautiful in like 24 hours. Into your cocktail shaker with ice, you will pour in for each drink 1.5 ounces of candy cane vodka. Add 1 ounce of white chocolate liqueur. You can use Godiva. That's a little pricey for a candy cane cocktail because you won't really be able to taste the difference. I purchased this one at Cost Plus World Market for about $8.
They're not a sponsor yet, but we're hoping.
Okay, so peppermint schnapps, because candy canes really are not minty enough. So about 1 ounce, and some creme de cacao, again about 1 ounce.
Just a dash of creme de cacao, my friends.
Now, normally you would also add some heavy cream into this. Alright, and then you just simply pour this into your martini glass. You can garnish with tiny peppermint marshmallows on a stick, or a candy cane, which you really should unwrap before you, or you can just put it in wrapped up. If you've had a few of these, it really doesn't matter. You'll eat the wrapper, you won't know the difference. And there is your festive candy cane martini. Cheers.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And FYI, in the time that it took her to make that candy cane martini,
We have half a tree.
we have half a tree. I have moved into the 3-inch squares,
Yes. So
and
it's-
having never done one of these before, oh look, my daughter highlighted the book with blue. You use what you have, people.
you do.
In fact, I think that you should always read the books prior to putting them in your crafts because they're very difficult to read afterwards.
They are. Although, not impossible.
No.
But you have to read them in tiny bits.
Simply, when Sophie's mother got home,
They had to be, because until today, factly ordinary life.
what?
Yes, factly. There must have been an hyphenated something or other.
Lightening the masses. This was to be thought that poverty and oppression, great attention was there too.
I have a little tiny square. Reflections never see that into the kitchen so much as scribes.
True
it's
word
like a
was
game.
never written.
If you drink more, you could actually make this a game while doing it.
If you drink more, you talk like this anyway. Down the stairs, so did Sophie's the steps from the Acropolis and appearing a little later in the old. All right, we are making a tree in real time.
Mm-hmm.
If you start to get bored, make your own drink.
That's
We
right.
gave you the recipe.
We gave you the recipe.
And we are recycling a book that we are no longer in need of.
That's right. And I have many books at home that I just have never read that I bought for class.
Feed me.
See? Okay. Next time we do a craft, we might actually have one that we've pulled from the oven that's already been made. But we wanted to actually show you how easy this is.
Especially when you've never done it before.
Because we've never done it before.
Because it could have gone horribly
It's obvious.
awry.
Yes.
I think this is turning out spectacularly
It
well.
is. This is fabulous.
You can imagine for anthropology that there are people with tiny hands in other foreign countries making these at a rapid pace and not with the alcohol probably.
And seriously, we don't have big hands. We are not big hand people. But
I'm kind
we are,
of a big-handed person.
I don't know, but they are considerably larger than children in developing countries.
Not that we are actually saying that anthropology does that, because we would love for them to be a sponsor as well.
We love
Oh,
anthropology.
beat me.
Falling down on my bead duty. No, we love anthropology, and that's why we want to make these crafts, because
my
they're beautiful.
Favorite store of all time. Not that we're even saying that you should not pay the $50 if you have the $50, but we want everyone to be able to have the loveliness
Yes.
if
that
they
is.
don't have that
Yes.
much money. Because maybe, if we started with shorter skewers, we could have really nice short trees.
We can have short, fat trees.
Oh, beat me.
Oh.
Because it is, it looks like it actually does take a little bit of time here.
It does. It's just because we're drinking and talking while doing it.
And the magic of editing will help that.
Because I am betting that if you are just sitting at home with your cut-up books and your beads and your skewers and your own martinis, you could bust one of these out in about 15 minutes.
Thank goodness we cut ahead of time, because if we were cutting the pages right now, that does take a while.
You would all be asleep. Everyone would be asleep.
But again, if you turned it into a drinking game.
It is. Every time you put down another bead, drink.
As they approached the piratic shots, Sophie, war-torn Lebanon, in a peaceful country, fireworks celebrating.
See, it was a bummer there with the Lebanon, war-torn. But then fireworks
and celebrating, so all worked out.
Uplifting.
That is Christmas.
Uplifting.
That's what Christmas is all about.
It is. It is what Christmas is all about.
We're getting there, people. We're almost there.
Hang with us. Hang with us.
That's what she said.
And there you are. You get your marshmallow skewer.
That is marshmallows. Okay, hold on a second, then I'll let you bead me again while
You can sip and I will bead. Fantastic.
Mmm. Delicious.
And you know what? If you're making your tree and you just get tired of sticking these pieces of paper on, you can make a short fat tree. Just cut the top off.
Just cut the top of the skewer right off. But I'm,
we're in it.
We're in it to win it.
Yes. Go big or go home. We want a big tree.
We do. Although I probably should have put more of the larger leaves down on the bottom, because you can't really, once you've gotten to the smallest piece of paper that you have, there's no going back, because then it's just going to be a tree with only small leaves for the rest of the time. I suppose I could make even smaller leaves.
That's true, but then you'd be cutting up little, it would be confetti at that point.
So we may actually have to stop fairly soon.
Yes, I think maybe one or two more layers, and then we can just.
Here's the tiniest layer. Here's the teeny tiniest layer here.
Okay. We're gonna put one tiny layer on.
And then we may either get out a hacksaw or
I can just bite it off.
Look how pretty this is.
This is pretty. I feel the Christmas in the room. I think it might be the martini.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. It's not a singing show.
I will not be singing.
It's a crafting show.
You're crafting.
Not even really a crafting show.
It's more of a drinking.
It's a drinking show
with crafting involved.
For people who don't have an inordinate amount of money. That's a beautiful tree.
That is beautiful.
Let's get something to see if we can gnaw through this. Oh,
it's gonna be hard.
Ooh, there's a big pair of scissors. Okay.
Here, you hold that.
I want my drink to be out of the way. Yeah, because we're just gonna put the topper on it. You hold. Maybe I can just snap it.
I don't want to.
If you use the scissors as the vice to hold it, you can just fray the end right off like that.
Beautiful. Or you could use your teeth, but once again, not recommended. Don't say that we told you to do that.
And now, what we have procured for the top of our tree, and you can use anything you want for the top of your tree, is a little tiny ornament thing that we got
from somewhere.
It actually has a hole in it. I don't know if it's the right size to fit on the skewer. So we're going to try that. If not, you can use glue. Yeah. And then we're just going to fluff up. Oh, you know what? If we put some beads on there. When in doubt, load it up with some beads. Maybe like
always beads.
3 of those beads.
3, 4, 3?
3. I think 3. And then we'll put the top back on.
It looks kind of like a misshapen angel. Which is sort of sad.
Perfect. Look at that. Look at that.
Yay. So
that it's an amazing tree.
It's an amazing tree. It's gonna fall over. It's falling over.
No, it won't fall over.
No, it's really falling over.
It might.
Okay. No. Okay.
Look at that. Right. You didn't like these spool. Spool really would be for large trees.
Yes.
You can also use like a little package that you can get off of a sprig of, decor.
Again, from Michael's, you can buy
finery.
Yes.
See, I used marshmallows on the bottom. They're all pink, and you could just, stab that through there, because this one is more appropriately sized, I think, for that. And look. Oh, okay, that's a problem.
I think the spool was working.
Then you can just kind of move things down, just spread them out a little bit. Look at that. Oh, I'm even making our tree taller.
It became taller.
It became taller.
Christmas
it's a growing tree. Aww. And the angels sang poorly and off key, but they still sang.
Yes. We have to hire new angels. Freaky.
Okay, there's a taller.
Yes.
And yet no better. Look at that.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
It's almost an
entire
Yes.
forest of those on your desk
Exactly.
in one day. There you go.
Couple hours.
Done.
Done.
Perfect.
You just saved $50.